Image isn't just a photo, it's a frame pulled from a live stream that was never supposed to be found. It surfaced on a hidden forum buried deep in the dark web, the kind that only appears if you already know exactly where to look. No title, no description, just a looping video feed labeled with a timestamp that never seemed to move. At first, viewers thought it was staged. A man in a dark red room, hood up, bound tightly to a chair, head hanging low. The lighting was too cinematic, too deliberate. People in the thread argued it was performance art or some kind of horror project. Then someone noticed the details. The ropes weren't prop rope. They were biting into his clothes, compressing fabric in ways that only happen under real tension. His fingers twitched occasionally, subtle and inconsistent. And the biggest giveaway, the breathing. Slow, uneven, real. That's when the chat changed. More people started watching. Not hundreds, just a few dozen. Thinking in terms of a middle phase of something like that, that's usually where the tone shifts from shock to pattern. Early on, people watching something like this would still be debating whether it's real. But the mid-set of murders, when multiple victims have already been identified, is where doubt disappears and something more disturbing replaces it: familiarity. By that point, the audience would start recognizing the structure. The red room always looks the same. The chair is always in the same position. The victim is always restrained the same way. But small details begin to change, and those changes become the focus. Viewers start tracking them obsessively: how tightly the ropes are tied, how long the light stays off, how quickly the person in the chair reacts. That's also when the escalation happens. Not random, chaotic violence, but controlled, incremental changes. Each event feels slightly worse than the last, but in a measured way, like someone refining a process. The tension doesn't come from surprise anymore. It comes from anticipation. People watching begin to understand what's coming before it happens. And that's the most unsettling part of a mid-sequence like this. It stops feeling like a single crime and starts feeling like a system. Whoever is behind it isn't improvising. They're iterating. They're learning what gets reactions, what keeps people watching, what pushes the boundary just enough each time. By then, the room itself almost becomes a signature, less a location, more a controlled environment, a stage where each victim is just another entry in a sequence. That's the point where, in a story, the horror isn't just what's being done, but how repeatable it has become.